I'm an addict for sneakers.
What's good, it's your boy, back at it. 2016 first podcast of the new year. Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you for tuning in to your boy DJ Delz's podcast. If you're listening on iTunes or if you're listening on YouTube, whatever the case may be, SoundCloud, I appreciate each and every one of you. Now, with that said, let's get right into this Q&A. I usually ask everyone a day or two before I record this, what do you want me to speak about? And we get into that Q&A. If you're listening on YouTube, show that love. Hit that like button right now and show that love. You know, I'm one of the very few that are as interactive with their viewers / listeners as I am. Literally answering all your questions, opening up the floor. Show that love. Means a lot. / listeners, tell people about the show if you wanted to continue as far as with these podcasts. I don't mind putting in the work as long as people are out there digging what I'm doing. Now, with that said, we got first from Harry White, the future. He writes, what shoe do you believe Jordan Brand will release that nobody is going to expect in 2016? Let me think for a second. It's a good question. If a Jordan 3 would release, that would be something I think no one would expect, because Jordan Brand kind of put it out there that they're putting that back in the vault and they're going to let that model just marinate for a second. If they brought that back out, that would just completely turn heads. But I think 2016 is really year of like the 4s, you know, the cement 4s are coming out. I'm pretty sure they're going to bring back the breads with the Nike Air on the back. You know, they hit us with those white and red Jordan 4s that came out recently, which to me are pretty dope. I just, you know, I think the reason why they're sitting is because of the fact that Jordan is actually making enough pairs. A lot of people always complain that Jordan's not making enough pairs. Jordan's not making enough pairs. They're making enough pairs. Sneakers are supposed to actually be available after the first day they release, you know. That's like the norm. And it's happened many times throughout all the years that Jordan Brand has been rocking on this planet, you know. This isn't the first time ever where Jordan Brand had shoes that just are available after the release date. It's just that a lot of people are new to sneakers, so this is new to them because they came in when everything was selling out like crazy. But this always happens. It shifts, you know. Gets popular, then it doesn't get as popular. Plus the fact, too high of a price tag right now. I mean, $190, and the fact that there's a new Jordan releasing every other week, people are being a little more pickier with the shoes because they can't keep up with all that. Plus you got other stuff coming out from other brands that are pretty dope now, and they're very hyped now to the fact where people that weren't, for instance, we'll use Adidas as an example. There's tons of people that never bought Adidas in their life until Kanye West signed to them. Me, definitely not the case. I've been riding with Adidas for a long time, basically since Run DMC, you know, had the record My Adidas, and I was a young buck. But whatever the case is, I don't judge you if you just got into Adidas because Kanye West kind of put you onto it. That's all good. You know, it's just sneakers at the end of the day. I don't really judge people on their preference of what they wear on their damn feet. But all in all, there's so many damn sneakers that's out and coming out, and there's no way for people to keep up with all that financially. Even if you're getting money, it's hard for people to keep up with that. And also on top of that, the resellers ain't making no money on Jordans unless it's some sort of like limited release, like a Don C release or something like that. They're not making no money off of that. So like the white and red Jordans, those alternate 89 4s, they're not making no money off that. They're not going to go and buy, you know, a dozen pairs and try to resell those on their website or however they do it, you know, whether it's a sneaker show. They're not going to get no money unless they cop them for under retail. If, you know, they maneuver a lot of moves where you could get them for under retail, then they can make a little bit of money, but it's not even going to be worth it. It's not. It's just not going to be worth it. You might as well maneuver to get a shoe for under retail when it comes to a pair of shoes that's more of a quick strike release, you know, like a limited Air Jordan. Only limited Air Jordans are going to be worth it for resellers now. It's going to be like that for the next, I would say, at least 2 more years. It's not getting any better for Jordan Brand as far as the shoes just flying off the shelves. If Aquas could sit on the shelves, then trust me, this year is going to be a good year for people like us that just want to buy our shoes and keep it moving. We enjoy talking about sneakers, but at the end of the day, it's not that serious. And we're not going to be going above and beyond just to get a pair of fucking sneakers, because that's just ridiculous. It's a beautiful thing that you can still cop Aqua 8s right now. If you're looking for a pair of Aqua 8s and you need help finding them, I'll put info in the description box below eventually if you're watching on YouTube. And also, you can just hit me up on my Twitter over at DJDELZ. Just hit me up and be like, yo, I'm trying to find Aqua 8s. Help me out. And I'll help you out. You know, some of you guys are really into sneakers and are going to be like, come on, dog. You can find them here and there and there and there. Not everyone's into sneakers like you. Keep that in mind. This audience over here, you got all different types of people, not just the diehard sneaker fans, like the sneakerheads, sneaker enthusiasts, sneaker addicts, whatever you want to label yourselves as, are listening to this show right here. You got all different types of people from all different walks of life, and keep that in mind. Don't judge because people don't know where to find a sneaker. Some people take this sneaker thing so damn seriously, and it's to the point where they're like crazy about it, like where they're rude or disrespectful. Like, you know, not everyone's into sneakers as much as me or you. Always got to keep that in mind. Next we got from Bizarre69. He writes, what's my favorite WWE wrestler? Let's see. As far as the current roster, man, the current roster is pretty whack right now. I like New Day, like, even though that's more than just one person. I would probably say Kevin Owens or, of course, Brock Lesnar. As far as the current roster, and as far as all-time favorite, would probably be Rob Van Dam. Probably my all-time favorite. Rob Van Dam, Macho Man Randy Savage. Those are like my favorites. You know, Ultimate Warrior was one of my favorites from back in the days. Rest in peace, Ultimate Warrior. Let's move on to another question. Let's see. We've got from Insta Clips. Writes, how can I get you my music? If this was 2006 and you had about 3 or 4 really dope records, I probably could have helped you, but not in 2016. This music game is way different, and the only way for you to make it now is through yourself. And no record label's gonna sign you because you just have good music. They're gonna sign you because you have, you know, music videos with 500,000. If you're lucky, they'll even talk to you. Like, but they're looking for those people that got like music videos out there with millions of views. They're selling their own merch. They're doing their own shows already without a record deal. They're basically looking for artists that are already making their own money. And then they want to sign you, give you like these shitty 360 deals, and then you make no money because they're making like most of the money that you're making, and you're basically just working for them. So you want to go independent basically in this day and age, and you want to get yourself a decent camera and shoot your own music videos and constantly put shit out on the internet. That's the best advice, and hopefully something will catch where people like watching your shit, like listening and watching your shit. Visuals is so important right now. People want to watch music videos on YouTube all day. And you got to be entertaining, you know. You got to be a star. And you have free access to YouTube where you can just put shit on YouTube. As long as it, you know, follows guidelines where you don't have, like, girls naked in the video or, you know, certain shit that may be a little too violent, or, you know, be careful if you're gonna show guns. Like, I don't recommend showing guns. Besides YouTube guidelines, you also have, you know, hip-hop police out there watching everything. So just be careful out there. But, you know, just make music videos and have visuals to your music. Trust me, that's the best way to go. Like, it's the best way to go. Shit has changed. The hip-hop game has changed so much. It's like a whole different thing. And some people are stuck in the past and they still think that, you know, they can still make it the old way. You got to do it yourself through the internet. That's the only way to make it now. Trust me. I've been around a lot of rappers. If you know me through hip hop, which very few of you guys probably do. A lot of you guys only know that I have a lot of sneakers because, you know, I stopped doing as much as I used to do. But, you know, I've helped, you know, people from Nicki Minaj to French Montana. You know, I've done a lot of things throughout the years, you know, with music. I still do stuff, a lot of behind the scenes stuff, a lot of shit you like, you know, for no one to see, some ghost shit. As long as I'm getting paid, that's all that matters. And as far as advice, I just gave some. And that advice goes for any kind of music, not just hip hop. It goes for any kind of music. Get a camera, put videos out, put music videos out. There's so many free programs that edit video, and you could cop a camera for not that much money. Alright, next question from Eric. Do I think that Foamposites will sell out this year, being that they're dropping a lot of old classic colorways? That depends on how Nike releases them. If it's going to be limited and there's a resale market, then yeah, they're going to sell out quick. But if they make tons of pairs, they're not going to sell out quick. Especially if they're like releasing them like week after week or every 2-3 weeks. Like if they don't like spread it out, then they're definitely going to just chill for like at least a week. That's my opinion. But it all depends on if these have a resale value, you know, after they release. You know, if they're worth money, like, then they're going to be fucking hard to get. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I don't think it will be. The blue mirror foams sold out pretty quick, but I'm pretty sure there was a little bit of a value to that shoe as far as the resale on those. That's really what it comes down to now in 2016 with the shoes. If there's a resale market for the shoe, then it's going to be tough for you to get it. But, you know, a lot of shoes are coming out all the time. So, because of the market being so flooded, it's not going to be every release, no matter how, like, nice this sneaker may be for some of us. It doesn't matter. They made enough pairs to the point where the resellers aren't able to make their money. Because they raised the price on the shoe to begin with, and they made so many damn pairs. For example, the Aqua 8s. Next we got from Brian, which new colorway Jordan released that sat really hard at the end of 2015 will have the most value 2 to 3 years from now? Statue of Liberty 9s, Marvin the Martian 7s, Anthracite 9s, Sweater 7s, 3-peat 8s, etc. He writes. I think they'll all be around the same. They'll go up in value slowly, definitely. That's what always happens. Just like, you know, if you look at some of the Air Jordan 6s that sat around when they released around, I think it was like 2009, 2010. There was a ton of them that just sat, like the Oreo 6 and the even the Detroit 6, which people thought was ugly. You know, they went up in value. Some more than others, clearly, you know. The Lakers 6. But every shoe goes up in value as time goes on, if it's a Jordan, because there will always be someone that wants that old pair of Jordans new, fresh out the box to wear as time goes on, because they loved wearing it when they got it. So they're going to want a new pair. They're going to go on some kind of site, whether it's eBay or whatever, and cop a new pair, you know, an old one. I do it all the time. I may tomorrow be in the mood to wear a shoe that I bought years ago that is beat now, that's in my closet, and I'm going to be like, you know what, I got to get a new pair of these. I'm going to drop a little extra money and cop a new pair and get rid of this pair. This pair's roasted. The toe box is creased. This shit gotta go, So all those shoes you mentioned, they'll be worth more than what they are now. But, I mean, are they going to be worth, like, $500, $1,000? No fucking way. But they will be worth maybe $100 over box price, maybe 3 to 4 years from now. Definitely not 2 years from now, but maybe 3-4 years from now. I would say $50 to $100 over box price if they're dead stock. Next we got from Jet Poetry, peace and blessings, Delz. When will Jordan Brand ever release the Retro 16? Possibly 2016? That's what he writes. Maybe so, maybe no. And you basically just answered it for me. Maybe so, maybe no. Who knows? I'd like to see it come back. That would be dope. Jordan Depot, he writes, where do babies come from? Babies are hatched from eggs. Let's get to the next question. McChristopher21 writes, what's my favorite under the radar shoe site to shop at? Well, if you follow my Twitter, you'll know some of them. So follow my Twitter account and you will know some of them, because that changes all the time. Next we got from JRay33. Hey Delz, hope you and your family enjoyed the holidays. Love listening to the podcast, man. Keep them coming. And then he writes, out of all my Star Wars inspired shoes, which one's my favorite? I'll probably say the R2-D2s that my kids gave me, just because I like the way they look, and it was just like a real special moment that I shared with my kids. It was really cool. So definitely those. Next we got from Aaron LeChat23 writes, what do I think of the new Jordan colorways coming out on the 12s and the 7s and the 5s, and what Jordan 11 will come out next Christmas? I would like the Space Jam to come back out. That's what I would like to come back out as far as the Jordan 11. As far as the new colorways with the 12s, 7s, and 5s, it's a hit or miss for me. Some are dope and some are just whack, they whack. Jody wants to know who's winning the Super Bowl. The Seahawks gonna win. Next we got from Hernandez Kicks. What do I think about the Band 1s coming back out? I keep hearing about that. Are you sure they're coming back out? I don't think they're really coming back out with the X on the back. I think the bread is coming back out, the bread 1s with a better material, but I don't think the actual Band 1s with the X are coming out. The ones that hit all those clearance stores, I don't think that one is coming out. But I may be wrong. Leave your comments in the box about that. Next we got from Gman315. He writes, I love your show. What's my thoughts on Nike not having a release date for shoes in 2016 and just having 1 to 2 month time frames? I haven't even really noticed that. They're probably doing that so that people aren't thinking about, how to save their money for particular releases throughout the year. So they're probably doing it because of that. That's what I would assume. I didn't even realize that, though. That's crazy. Next we got from Dave the Kid. He writes, why do you think people believe Jordan Brand is falling off? Because retros are sitting? This happens every year. Well, it really doesn't happen every year that retros sit. There was a time where retros never sat, and you're 100% wrong about that. And I'm going to tell you why. Let's go back to the Concords, when those retroed, and the craziness, and, the whole conversion of how to buy your shoes, where you couldn't just camp for them no more at most retailers. Now you had to go get an actual raffle ticket because there was such a high demand for Jordans, and every colorway was flying off the shelves. Remember those days? So that's definitely not the case where retros always sat. They have sat throughout the years, definitely from the beginning of time with Jordans to now, but it's not all the time, and it's not always throughout the whole history of Jordan releases that they've always sat on the shelves. That's definitely not true. As far as them falling off, I think I've already spoke about this earlier. I may not have. I think I'm actually thinking of this other video I did where I talk about Kanye West jumping over the jump, man. That's not the case. Jordans are doing excellent. They're selling. They're just selling at a slower speed because of the fact they're making more pairs. So there's enough pairs for us all to buy, and the resellers aren't buying up all the pairs also because they raised the price of them. They're not falling off. If anything, they're making more money than ever. So Jordan Brand's doing fantastic. Don't get it twisted. People think that Jordans aren't doing as well because the only shoes that fly off the shelves are the limited ones. The limited ones they're not making no money off of because they're not making that many pairs of. I mean, they're making tons of, these Jordan 9 retros, the anthracites, and these statues, and these Marvin the Martians. And you know how many pairs they're making? The numbers are crazy. I can't even imagine altogether how many pairs they've sold in 2015 alone. So Jordan Brand definitely has not fell off. Definitely. And let me make this clear as far as sales, not quality and craftsmanship. Definitely not that. Next question we've got from Jack. He writes, Bullet Club coming to WWE. It looks like it's a possibility. We've seen it on Twitter. We've seen it on the site. It's definitely going to be interesting to see. AJ Styles is finally going to be in WWE. That's what it's looking like. It's not confirmed, but it's looking like that. I can't wait to see what's the future. It should be coming soon, though, if it is going down, because WWE talent is just dropping like flies as far as them getting injured. It's so crazy. They are always getting injured. So, it's only a matter of time before they hire new talent. And I don't think they should be bringing up people from NXT. I think they need to keep NXT talent there because they're going to damage that brand if they keep bringing everyone up there. Kevin Owens, I understand they needed to bring him up because he was ready. He was definitely ready. He's one of the best, as I was saying before, in my opinion, that's on the current roster at WWE. But I don't think they should bring Finn Balor up. He needs to stay in NXT. I don't think he's going to do well in WWE yet. Get into the next question. DDG Boy writes, what up, Delz? Huge fan. Thanks, man. And his question is, if Kanye's so popular, could he be successful on his own without Adidas or any other brand? I think, it's a possibility. He was trying to do something like that. Remember when he was on that Sway interview? You don't got the answer, Sway. Remember when he was on that interview going ham? But, at the same time, Kanye put out that clothing that was overpriced, and that shit didn't sell. I think that he has a hard time sometimes balancing reality, what he is capable of doing. But by him looking above and beyond and not having any ceiling is what's making him kick ass at the same time. So sometimes he'll shoot and it's just swish, and sometimes he'll shoot and it's just an air ball or a brick, That's how Kanye does, but he always ends up winning the game at the end of the day. He may miss a few shots, but he's always winning. And Kanye's dope, He also wants to shout out this dude, Dodger Boy. Shout out to the homie Dodger Boy. And he writes, how excited were you to hear Ken Griffey Jr. was inducted to the Hall of Fame? Yeah, that was pretty awesome. I seen it on Twitter first, and I was like, oh man, that's crazy. That's what's up. I grew up watching him, so, it's great to see that he finally got in there. Really cool to see that. Next we got from Johnny. He writes, thoughts on the red and white Air Jordan 12s that's coming out 2016. Good work on that Snapchat, dropping some true knowledge also. Thanks, bro. Yo, shout out to everyone that watches my Snapchat. I really enjoy Snapchat. I have fun on it. My Snapchat is DJ Delz. DJDELZ. That's my Snapchat. Follow it. I'm on it all the time. I'm addicted to it. I'm trying to whenever I see an opportunity to snap something on Snapchat, I'm always fucking with it. Definitely follow my Snapchat. And those Jordans, they're cool. I like them. They're alright. So many new colorways. It's I'm not as excited with new colorways with certain models. Like, there's some models, like any new colorway I'm hype about. Like a Jordan 6, because it's my favorite model, like silhouette. Any new colorway, I'm so into it. But like an Air Jordan 12, I'm into the OG colors. That's just how it goes down with me. Next, we got from Nate. He writes, do you believe the Space Jams will drop, being that it's the movie's 20th anniversary? I believe, Nate. I believe. Texans Gabriel writes, question, do you think Jordans are sitting due to fashion changing with the youth? Seems like younger sneakerheads are leaning toward Yeezys, Adidas, runners. Thoughts on all that, Delz? I do think a little bit of the youth is like that, but not majority. Majority can't even buy the Yeezys. You can't buy them. There's not that many pairs made. That's why they're selling for a little bit under $1,000. There's not that many pairs made. Where are they? There's not that many made, like I keep saying. So, that is kind of the case, but at the same time, it's like a lot of these dudes I noticed that are into runners, they're always talking about the limited ones, the ones that are worth money, That's what I always hear. And I see plenty of people wearing Jordans all the time. All the time, I see plenty of people wearing Jordans. I think it all depends on where you are, too. Because certain areas I'll go to, I'll see it more than others. More people wearing Jordans. It all depends on where the location is. As I was saying earlier, Adidas is putting out a lot of great stuff, so there's more options now that people are paying more attention to. Adidas has always been putting out great stuff, but I really feel like Kanye West is a big reason why a lot of people are wearing, for instance, the Ultra Boost. A lot of people won't agree with me on it, but I'm telling you, Kanye wore those Ultra Boosts and those shits flew off the shelves, Before that, I didn't see not many people talking about Ultra Boost in general on YouTube even. Look on YouTube and see how many people were talking about Boost Foam when it was a couple of years ago when it came out. Look how many people were talking about Boost Foam. Maybe 2, 3, I know I was one. I'm pretty sure Hess Kicks was on there, before that whole Yeezy hype wave. Because I know he likes his Boost. I'm pretty sure he was rolling with that before then. But besides that, not many, man. I'm telling you, Kanye West is very influential. But, that's okay for you to be influenced and pay attention to something that's dope. Look, I was talking about Adidas earlier, and I was talking about Run DMC. Run DMC told me that Adidas were dope. Run DMC, to me, I guess some will say is what Kanye West is for them. You know what I mean? So who am I to judge that you're influenced by a person when I was a young buck? I mean, I'm talking young buck. I'm talking about 6 years old watching, Run DMC and saying, yo, that's dope. You watch him on TV, on MTV, holding up the Adidas in the crowd, in the music videos and shit. That you got the people in the crowd holding up the shoes with no laces, and me being young, just sitting in front of the TV, just absorbing dopeness, just coming out of the screen, visually. So, there's nothing wrong with being influenced by shit, We're all influenced by shit. We are. You see something dope, you're influenced by it. Some just run with it. Some take pieces of things and make it their own. That's just how it is. Alright, so I just realized what time it is. I'm going to try to answer 5-10 more questions, and I got to bounce. I didn't realize how late it is right now, and I got tons of stuff to do. Listen, guys, I'm going to try to motivate you. I hope this works. If you guys want another podcast sooner versus later, hit that like button right now. When I get 1,000 likes, I'll definitely do a podcast within a week of when it hits 1,000 likes. Alright, so that should be some motivation for people that really are digging these podcasts. Alright, 1,000 likes, I promise I'll do a podcast within a week. If not, sooner than that. Alright, keep that in mind. Now, with that said, let's get into the rest of these questions. we've got from Raid, he writes, what's my favorite LeBron ever? I would say the 9. The 9th model is my favorite. And then the 8 and the 7, those are like my favorites. 7 and 8 are, I would say, tied, actually. Then we got from Jeff, he writes, would I ever or have I ever worn British Knights? I have never, and would I, if it's the right model and colorway? Why not? I'll wear any sneaker as long as it looks dope. G Money, he writes, do I think Nike will ever retro the Yeezy 1? I think possibly like in 5 to 10 years. Next we got from Living Sacrifice. How many pairs of shoes do I wear in the course of one day? Usually depends on if I'm like home, like at my actual place. If I'm at my house, you know, every time I go out, sometimes I'll just keep changing my shoes just because I just do that. Because I have so many just lined up by the door, so I'll just grab this shoe, grab that shoe the next time I go out. So something like that. Sometimes I could go through like 2, 3, 4 pairs in one day. But on an average, I would say 2 pairs of shoes, like one during the day and then a different one in the evening. That's usually what I do. Next, we got from How Do Kicks. He wants me to speak about my thoughts on Nike Air on the back of Jordans that are new colorways, not original colorways that had Nike Air on the back. To me, that doesn't matter to me. I only really appreciate it on the actual models in the colorways that actually had Nike Air on the back. So, like, the grape black 5s having Nike Air on the back really doesn't matter to me. It could have a Jumpman on the back and I'm totally fine with that. But I'll appreciate a different colorway way more if it had the Nike Air on the back originally. And that's my thoughts on that. I mean, Nike Air on the back you could get from buying a Nike Air shoe. Like a Nike shoe. So like having a Jumpman on the back of a Jordan really isn't the end of the world. But me, I appreciate like it just being a full-fledged retro of what it was back in the days, as far as, for example, like the Cement 4s having the Nike Air on the back. That's how it looked when it first released. So I can appreciate that more because it's more authentic to the original, you know. But with a new colorway, I don't mind if it has the Jumpman on the back. I actually maybe would even prefer the Jumpman on the back. Some people will say that's crazy. I like the Jumpman logo. I think Jordan Duncan is dope. You know what I mean? But when it comes to like a pair of Bread 4s, you put Nike Air on the back, that's like a legit version of the original. You know, if you have the Nike Air on the back versus the Jumpman. So that's my thoughts on that. I think some people will be shocked at that answer, that I like if it's not an original colorway, I actually would like the Jumpman on the back. I think that's gonna make people like, what the fuck? But that's all good, you know. Everyone got different taste. Next we got from Mr. Santana. He writes, out of all the limited sneakers that came out that I missed out on, which one would I love to own? And then he writes, if he wins Powerball, he's gonna cop me those shoes. So definitely the Eminem 4s. I always wanted those. I actually really do wish I had those. But as far as shoes that released I missed out on that are limited, I don't know, like that's limited. I can't really think that deep into it because I kind of am in a rush. But I definitely really want the Lance Mountain Jordan 1s and the Jeter 1s. Those are sneakers I missed out on, and I just don't want to pay that like $350 resale price. Like, I really do not want it. So those are the ones that I would definitely want. Next we got from Sneaker Bang. He writes, when is my shoe coming out? And he loves the show. Thank you, first of all, for having interest in a shoe that I designed and loving the show, of course. I have no clue exactly when there is a date because I'm waiting for my sample pair to come in. They're in the process of actually constructing the shoe. So it's going down. It's really going down as far as the shoe being made. Like, I should have an actual physical pair in hand hopefully by the end of February. That's what they're telling me, if not sooner. And then after that, the word is that they're trying to make it in October. So we'll see. I'm really talking a lot with Saucony right now on how we can make it so the shoe is available for everyone, because I really don't want it to be a limited release. You know, I'm just grateful to have the opportunity to design the shoe, but I'm already trying to figure out a way where maybe you guys could pre-order the shoe so that, you know, everyone that wants a shoe by me, DJ Delz, can get that shoe. So I'm trying, you know. Don't be mad if it releases and it sells out in 2 seconds and, you know, it's hard to get. I hope that's not the case, but I'm trying, and that's all I really can do for you guys. But I am trying already, and you see, it's it's January 8th today, and I actually sent a few texts back and forth with some of the head people at Saucony just to try to get that ball rolling on a pre-order system, because I really would like everyone that wants the shoe the chance to get the shoe. Next, we got from Brandon from Hawaii. He writes, "Keep up the good work. Thank you for real." And shout out to Hawaii. Then we got Ratchet Mike 28. "Happy New Year," he writes. Happy New Year, man. Always appreciate you checking in. You always leave comments. I always remember your name, so I appreciate that. Happy New Year. And then he writes, "Is there any sneakers in my storage that I haven't reviewed yet?" Probably at least 50 pairs I haven't reviewed yet. If you watch my Star Wars collection video, which sadly got like barely any views to it, and I showed like over I think 15 pairs of sneakers that are really dope, I was so disappointed that that video didn't get many views, because that was a really good video. I'm going to put a link in the description box below. And check that out. Check out my top 50 of 2015. That video was amazing. I can't even believe it didn't get 1,000 likes yet. I was looking at the giveaway I did for Crep, the cleaner. It got 1,000 likes in like 2 hours because I was giving something away. But, you know, that top 50 of 2015 took me 2 days to film. I showed over 50 kicks and didn't even get 1,000 likes yet. I just can't believe it, you know. I don't mind putting in the work as long as I know people are enjoying it. So show that love, man. That top 50 of 2015 is a really dope video. I hope everyone watches it, and if you haven't watched it, check it out, because I want you guys to enjoy this stuff like that I put out there if you love sneakers, you know. But yeah, like there's a lot of shoes that I have not filmed yet. It's just time, you know. I don't have that much time during the day to film all these shoes, and there's always something new I'm buying every week or so. So like that gets put to the sideline, and before you know it, I forget that, you know, I have to shoot those. I remember when I was grabbing those shoes for the Star Wars video, I was like, oh shoot, I didn't shoot these like unreleased Adidas shoes and this sample, and I'm like, what is going on here? Like there's so many sneakers I haven't ever really shot. I may have flashed in the camera real quick, and I definitely have to get into all of those kind of sideline shoes that are super dope. I just get thrown off by all the releases that go on week after week after week. Next we got from Pete. He wants to know about any kind of tips keeping his shoes icy on the bottoms, and he says big ups from Watts, California. Shout out to Pete over in Watts. I always recommend not wearing icy soled shoes in the rain, and always wearing them in a dry area. The paper that's in your shoebox, when you buy the box, grab that paper, crumple it in a ball, and then shoot that paper right into the garbage, because that really speeds up the process of the shoes yellowing. So always do that. Throw away the paper inside that box. Trust me. Next we got from Diffused Thoughts. He writes, "Am I excited about the Nike Air More Tempos? I'm super stoked," he writes. Yeah, I definitely am. I hope they release more colorways this time around. I felt like the last time they only gave us, what, 2? They gave us the Olympic one, and then they gave us that one with, like, that skyline kind of view. I forgot what the whole theme was. But, you know, they got to give us, you know, like that exclusive from back in the days, like all them dope colorways. Hopefully they really drop a lot of heat. Next we got from Reg. He wants to know, what sneaker do I just keep looking past, like that I haven't worn yet when I'm looking for a pair of shoes to wear? I can't think off top. You know, a lot of times when I go to grab a pair of kicks, it always has to do with what I'm in the mood to wear. So that's just what it is, you know. And then Michael Francisco, he writes, what do I think about this year's Nike All-Star Pack? What do I think they're gonna do and whatnot? He wants to know. I don't know. I have no clue what they're gonna do. Hopefully, it's better than last year's. I thought they weren't that creative with last year's. It was nice, but it just wasn't creative. And I hope they are more creative on the All-Star Pack for this year. What I've seen from Adidas is really dope, but we'll see what Nike does. Nike got to really set it off right this year, because last year was kind of weak. I did like the LeBron that came out last year. Next we got from EGOT Souls 23, writes, "What's up, Delz? Long-time subscriber. Love your content. Keep up the great work, man. Thank you for real. I appreciate that." And then he writes, "I want to know, what do you think will happen at the Royal Rumble? Who do you think will appear, and who will end up getting the WWE title at the end of the match?" I think Roman Reigns is going to keep the title. If not Roman Reigns, maybe Brock Lesnar. Daniel Bryan may come back, because I heard he's cleared as far as with, his doctor and everything. I think that the whole issue is Vince is kind of scared because the dude is so, fragile. He keeps getting hurt. I think Daniel Bryan needs to change his whole in-ring style when he's performing, because he keeps doing that running knee, and he seems to always be hurting himself with that move. So he needs to stop doing all that and adjust, But as far as surprises, who will show up, I don't know who will show up off top. I can't think of anyone except maybe Dave Bautista. He may show up, because I think he's got a movie coming out. He'll probably want to promote it. You never know. Maybe The Rock may show up, but I highly doubt that. Rock's been talking about a lot of wrestling stuff lately on social media, so you never know. They may start setting up some kind of storyline for WrestleMania. You never know. Also, I know this sounds super crazy, but imagine if Triple H comes and he enters the Royal Rumble. I know you guys may think it's crazy, but watch. If that happens, remember I called it. Because if you think about it, he's been MIA for so long, and they've been kind of setting it up where Roman Reigns would fight Triple H at WrestleMania. What better way to set up an actual match if the last person to enter the Royal Rumble is Triple H, and he walks in and it's just Triple H and I don't know, maybe someone else that's cool with the Authority and Roman Reigns, and then bang, gets thrown over. We'll see how that goes down. I'm curious to see. These are all just predictions that just came off the top of my mind right now. I'm actually more excited than I was before with this Royal Rumble that's about to come up soon. As far as the releases for the weekend, you got the Jordan 2 that's coming out. I think it's a cool pair of kicks. I will have info on my blog, thesneakeraddict.com. You got that new Kobe that's coming out. That will also be on my blog, thesneakeraddict.com. If you're looking for that info, go to my blog at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, thesneakeraddict.com. Follow my Twitter, all my social networks. I'll be tweeting away, trying to help you guys out. I always do, especially with restocks. If you're not following the Sneak Addict on Twitter and DJ Delz on Twitter, you are missing out. Tons of restocks this week. I was able to help out tons of people getting kicks. A lot of thank yous on Twitter for me helping people out, especially a lot of females. I was able to help a lot of females get in retros for way under retail, because there was a lot of markdowns on a lot of Jordan retros. So shout out to all the females out there. Kicking It will be back this coming week too. I got probably 2 episodes. I may hit them back to back with 2 episodes, because I have so many guests and I don't want them to feel like they shot their stuff for nothing, even though they're not saying nothing to me. People have been shooting mad footage, and I just I have it sitting in my computer and I have to put it out. It's the time, I don't have that much time in my day to do all this stuff, and I'm trying to put it out as much as possible. Thanks for watching today's episode. Listening to today's episode. If you're on YouTube, make sure to hit that like button. I get 1,000 likes within a week, I definitely will do another podcast. If you're listening on iTunes, thank you. Make sure to subscribe. Thanks to everyone for checking it out. Happy New Year. I cannot wait to just hit you guys with some great footage, great reviews, great collection videos. If you have any ideas of any kind of videos you'd like me to do, leave that comment in the box or hit me on Twitter, and I always will check that out if I get to read your comment. Sometimes it's a lot of comments, but I really try my best to read all the comments. And I think just checking out this kind of content me answering as many questions as possible for almost an hour shows a lot that I really try my hardest to interact with you guys and the whole community out there. And that's it, man. I'm about to get up out of here. Have a great weekend, and we out.